All right, guys, please don't come at me. I know that this topic is highly controversial and my title is not helping it, right? The reason that I'm coming out this strongly, saying that I have a problem with Abraham Hicks is number one, it's an eye-catching title. I need you to know what we're gonna talk about today. Number two, I actually do have an issue, and let me explain, okay? I don't have a personal issue with Esther Hicks, okay? I used to go to her conferences over the weekend. I had a blast. I would listen to her videos for years. My problem is with the way it's being taught and the way a lot of people are interpreting those teachings that is messing with their lives. And I know that it tripped me up. And after a while, I realized that a lot of the clients I was working with had the same issues until we started undoing all of those negative beliefs that we picked up from those teachings. And hallelujah, we all started seeing massive success. How's that possible? And what can we do about changing your trajectory if you're one of those people that are still grappling with the whole law of attraction manifestation idea and you feel like you're doing something wrong and it's just tripping you up? Okay, so if you have no issues, then feel free to disregard this video. But if you do get what I mean, then stay tuned, because in this video, I'm going to tell you at least 4 or 5 reasons why the law of attraction and the way Esther Hicks is teaching it is tripping you up, and what you could do about changing your life right here, right now, to let go of those ideas and actually see results. But of course, before diving in, I'm not gonna let you do that unless you like and subscribe, because seriously, this is what helps the algorithm, and I want this video to help more people. I want the channel to help more people. So thank you for being so kind and helping us out here. Let's get started. So number 1, pop culture ego manifestation. This is what I call this whole law of attraction manifesting industry. And the way it's being taught in pop culture, it creates way more resistance in a person, which actually has the opposite effect, right? Because if we want blessings to come through, we gotta stay open, we gotta stay trusting, we gotta stay believing. But if we are told that all of our thoughts are creating our reality, right? So when something negative happens, what people tend to do is that they start putting the blame on themselves, they start judging themselves, and they start creating meaning around, why did this happen? What does it mean? Oh, last week, I was feeling so bad and, I was having all those negative thoughts. So that was building momentum, and now my whole life, and they just start creating stories, which is actually limiting what could come through. They're actually creating new negative beliefs that are not serving them. As you could tell, I am really passionate about this. Number 2, it makes a person become a control freak. So a lot of people are already control freaks. A lot of people, have obsessive thoughts, and we're not saying any of that in judgment. I myself am a huge overthinker by nature, right? So for someone who may be slightly neurotic in their thoughts, telling them to keep changing their thoughts is only making them feel like they have more control than they really do. And then all they could do is be in their head and try to make calculations all the time. Oh, if I'm gonna do this, then that is going to happen. And if that didn't happen, then maybe I didn't do the right thing. And the person is just under stress, constantly feeling like they're not doing the right thing, because come on, we all think between 60 and 80,000 thoughts a day, and most of them don't mean anything. Most of them are just random things that come and go in your mind, right? In your mind's program. And it's only if you make it mean something, if you're so afraid, right, of those thoughts, that's when you start blocking things. So if you get into control and you're trying to control every thought, you're actually creating a problem where there was no problem before. Because If you don't believe your thoughts and you don't attach yourself to any of your thoughts and you don't make it mean anything, then it means nothing and nothing is happening, right? There's no resistance, there is no problem. But if you start trying to control your reality, you're actually missing out on the greater blessings that could happen if you didn't try to control every little thing. Number 3, it puts people in denial. Why? Because people are so convinced that they cannot feel anything negative, and every time they feel something negative, they're so afraid to stay there, right? And fear is a big one. I would say fear is one of the running themes across everything that I'm going to mention here today. And fear is the devil, basically, right? So how can we believe in something that creates more fear or may create more fear, all right? So it puts you in fear of feeling anything negative. So the person just wants to go into denial and say, oh no, I don't really feel that, right? So it takes you out of your truth, because we have to feel certain things in order to clean it up, right? If there's a negative belief or a trauma or a wound that's sitting in you, no amount of positive thinking in your mind is going to fix what's going on in your body, right? We have to address things. And once we address things, and once we expose things, and once we're not afraid to sit in the mud, that's when it gets diffused. That's when it gets cleaned up. And that's when you are actually creating more space to manifest, if you will. And this I know for a fact, that when you go with your truth, okay, with your truth in a moment, and you're truly accepting your truth every moment of every day, you will attract your soul's desires automatically. But when you're afraid of that and you're trying to be smarter, right? And trying to outsmart the system, so to speak, you're only putting yourself in more resistance, in more control, in more damage. Number 4, I think we're up to number 4. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So number 4 is that it actually limits you, because you are busy trying to play God and trying to control your surroundings, and you think that you know what you want. I want this house. No, I want this car. This is gonna make me happy. That's gonna make me happy. And by the way, all of that is really coming from ego, from not feeling good enough and trying to create this image that, oh, if I finally have this house, or I finally have this car, or I finally have this relationship, then I'm going to feel better about myself. It does not work, because even if you do end up manifesting it, most people don't know how to maintain and normalize these blessings, because they never feel good enough, so they never feel really deserving of it, and then they lose it, right? This is why you see a lot of people, making a lot of money or winning the lottery and then losing it, right? They go on this continuous roller coaster of feeling better than everybody else when they have what they want, and then feeling like, a loser when they don't have what they want, and then they put the whole blame on themselves because, they've been trying to control the reality and play God. It just does not end up that good, right? But when we come from our soul and we know that we are worthy of things, and we are grateful for everything, and we normalize things, and we work on our nervous system so we could feel safe having everything we want, then we're coming from a true place, and then we have a container where the blessings could come in, right? But if we're trying to run away from our truth and we're going into denial, then it's just a waste of time. Anyway, going back to number 4, okay? I started saying that it actually limits you. Why does it limit you? Because the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, this higher power, has a much, much better idea and better plan for you, right? How your life is meant to evolve. And of course, a large percentage of that revolves around the actions that you will take, and the choices that you will make, and the standards that you set for yourself, right? But your true self will always bring you back to the path that you need to be on. And this used to happen to me all the time, where I would think that this is what I need, right? This is someone I need to work with, or this is the house that I need to live in. And then I realized that I was actually holding back much greater things from coming through, because I was so set on trying to control where my life should go. All right. So of course we still have to take action, and it still depends a lot on as I said before, the choices that we make and everything else, but there's still a large part that we need to surrender to a greater power, okay? And what is meant for us can never escape us, which brings me to number 5. Your soul is here to evolve and learn and grow and heal, right? When you're trying to manically manifest things, you may be skipping the process. Life has a way of putting you in place, right? So if you're coming from ego and control, the things you want will not want to come to you through that way, right? It wants you to be centered. It wants you to come from a true place. It wants you to grow. So when we try to outsmart the system, you're actually missing valuable lessons and valuable information that has to come through to you in order for you to be a better person, in order for you to step into a better version of yourself. So I truly believe if you don't have something that you want, that it's simply either not the right time or you're not ready for it. Your nervous system may be out of whack. And maybe if you would get it at this time, you would simply not be able to hold on to it. You weren't ready for it. So allow life to teach you who you need to be. Allow life to take you to the next level. Allow life to help you evolve to become the person that could handle all of those things, and let it come from a true place from your soul, not ego, because that makes a huge difference. I see it all the time, because when you're looking at someone who it looks like they have all the things that you desire, right? It looks like they lucked out. Most people who are able to maintain that lifestyle or that relationship, they are actually coming from a truer place. Maybe it's a truer place of service. It's a place of gratitude. It's a place of groundedness. It's a place of not attaching your worth to external factors and how big your house is and everything, because all those things are amazing. As you guys see, I love where I live, right? And even how this happened was not coming from ego. I don't need this to make me feel like a better person, right? It simply feeds my soul in a real way. And I really believe that when we come from our soul and not from ego, and ego is all about control, not feeling like we're enough, attaching who we are or our image to our external circumstances, those things only end up derailing you. So now that I've listed to you at least 5 things where you may be tripping yourself up, and there's a lot more. I believe that I have more videos around this on my Instagram from maybe over a year ago, and if you're interested, you could go find it or ask me for it, because I feel like this topic is so important and it literally creates trauma. I know for a fact that for a lot of people, believing in this and the way that law of attraction and manifestation is being taught, right, actually created more trauma, disconnect, and dissonance, because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this, but wait, I cannot feel this, but wait, if I feel this, then, tomorrow something might happen, and when that happens, I judge myself and I blame myself, and now I'm trying to do damage control, and it's a disaster, okay? So what can we do to actually change the trajectory for you right now? The simplest thing that I would say is, number 1, yes, practice gratitude, okay? And gratitude is different than an ego place of like, oh, I want this just so I could feel better, right? Gratefulness is humble, right? Gratefulness is being grounded. Gratefulness is being connected to something bigger than yourself. Number 2, heal, okay? Do the inner work so you can work on your nervous system in order to feel safe with everything that you want. My prayers have changed a lot in the past 2-3 years. Instead of praying that I want millions of dollars, I pray to God that I feel safe with millions of dollars. I'm much more focused on who I could help without attaching, money or any of that. It's a completely separate thing. I don't anymore try to control my thoughts or any of those things, which brings me to the next space, which is embodiment, okay? I work a lot with embodiment, deep breathing, truly creating safety in your body. And I can't stress this enough. This is the number one factor in order for you to be able to be a more integrated version of yourself. Because when you create those negative beliefs and you think that you need to think a certain way or feel a certain way, and if not, you're doing something wrong, you're not being integrated. You're fragmenting yourself, right? And the next thing that I would say is to practice surrendering to a greater outcome. And when I say surrender, I don't mean sit on the couch and just surrender and think good and everything will come to you. No. Do everything you can within your control, right? Go after what excites you, take those actions, but surrender the rest. Surrender the outcome. Don't get attached to the outcome. Which brings me to the very last thing that I want to say is let go of attachment. I truly feel this should have been one of the reasons that law of attraction trips you up, but I'm gonna say it now, right? I truly believe that the way law of attraction and manifestation is being taught, it creates more attachment. Although they keep saying, sure, surrender the outcome, but if you're telling somebody, oh, every thought means something and be careful with what you think and how you feel, you're basically teaching somebody to attach every little thing to something else, right? We gotta let go of the outcome. Trust in a higher power. Trust that you're being taken care of. Get out of your own way, and then you will see miracles happen. Just live your life without making any calculations. Live life, focus on what brings you joy. Focus on how you could be of service. Focus on what lights your soul on fire. And if something happens that doesn't feel good or it looks negative, work through it, heal, allow it to grow you, right? Allow it to help you go to the next level without making it mean anything. Anyway, I hope that this helps. I know that a lot of the things that I say is technically not opposing what law of attraction is teaching you, but I feel that it's either missing pieces in the way it's being taught, or people are simply not understanding it, and the way we are applying it is simply not constructive, and we're missing the bigger picture. Anyway, I hope this helped you. Leave me a comment, okay? How you feel about what we just spoke about, and I can't wait to continue supporting you on your journey. I love you guys so much. Make it a great one.